Hey everybody, welcome to the second Skype for Business videocast. My name is Jamie Stark. I look after voice interoperability and networking for Skype for Business, and I'm joined here by my colleague Praveen.
Thanks, Jamie. This is Praveen. I take care of product management for Skype for Business mobility. So all things mobile, iOS, Android, and Windows Phone.
And we're here again. The first one was somewhat of a success with Sean and I, and so we wanted to do this again. So the whole intent behind these videocasts is that we do them every other week, so every 2 weeks, and we're alternating between AM and PM for appropriateness for Europe and then appropriateness for Asia. So, hi Asia, how you doing?
And we got that as a feedback from our first session that this would work well, so that's great.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, this is one of the things that that we're really excited about. This is just an opportunity for us to be a little bit more open and provide a little more color around some news that we have going on in Skype for Business. There is a lot happening. There's this blog post yesterday that we'll get to, and there's a bunch of other stuff, but yeah, so actually though, we have some things to talk about around mobility, right?
Oh yeah, there's a lot happening on the mobile side as well, as you know. We've been focused in mobility quite a lot. We've been working on improving the mobile experiences. We understand that productivity on your mobile devices is very important to you. So we are focused on releasing Skype for Business app. As you guys know, we've had Link 2013 out there for quite a while. And with Skype for Business for desktop, we're now focused on releasing Skype for Business for mobile apps as well. So with that, we had released our preview in August, and I think some of you had already participated in the preview as well. So thanks for participating if you guys were part of the preview and downloaded the Skype for Business iOS app.
That's right. This is a preview for iOS.
Right.
Now I understand that there was something a little goofy about the way that we did preview for iOS. So because we're also a preview for Cloudpbx, and we kind of had anybody that had an E3 or E1 license come on and go try out preview. But we had some differences in the way that we would run preview for iOS, right?
Right. Yeah. So one thing that we had was 1,000 user limit that Apple had for beta test flight. So some of you could not join our preview program because of that. So sincere apologies. We would love to get some more.
That wasn't us, right? I mean, it's funny. You think about Windows 10 and our previews, the previews for Office. They're in the scale of tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, and our app with iOS we could do 1,000.
Yeah, so I still want to thank you for your interest if you wanted to participate but could not. We really hope that next preview you would be able to. And our iOS preview is now closed, but Android preview is still on. So if you have users of
so 2,000 on the Android preview, 1,500 on the Android preview.
We don't have a limit.
Oh, we don't have a limit on the Android. Oh, okay, good.
So if you haven't signed up, go ahead and sign up. We'd love to hear from you and get some feedback. And we're really looking into what you guys have for us, so that we can improve the experiences on mobile.
Very cool. Yeah, absolutely. No, it's just key. I got the Windows phone, so I've been using Skype for Business on the Windows client. It's been awesome. Yeah, really love the emoticons. Really, I mean, it's little stuff, but it's great. Yeah, absolutely.
And one of the things that we're doing is, as you know, we are rebranding our Link clients to Skype for Business, and we're bringing the familiar UI experience that folks love with Skype. So that's something which we're bringing to iOS as well. We should be releasing our iOS app pretty soon. It's in the preview. We should be getting out of the preview and then releasing publicly to all users pretty soon. Hopefully next week.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. It's funny. As we're doing these video podcasts, we're slowly starting to integrate more and more technology into them. For those of you that were in the last one, Sean and I were in kind of a random conference room today. It is slightly less random in that we've got this kind of little set baked out of my office
today. So.
That's right. But I understand we also had some surveys too. I mean, just speaking of feedback, I mean, this is one of the things that we thought would be kind of cool here is as we're talking that we can also kind of push some surveys around. So I understand that that you were able to set some of those up on Big Pulse and have them as part of the broadcast.
Right. So you're using Skype broadcast right now. We're live right now, and you also see Bing Pulse. So if you can take a moment and answer some of the questions, that really would help us.
Very cool. Okay, so right now we're on the mobile question. Cool. And so this is one of the things that we're really interested to hear from you all. You know, Bing Pulse gives you the ability to kind of thumbs up and thumbs down. And so, you know, give us the feedback. This is honest here. We want to know how we're doing on the one hand. And on the other hand, we're actually interested in specifically in the question around how folks are using mobile.
Right. Yeah. So how many folks are using mobile in your organization? Have you deployed completely? You're thinking of deploying? We would really love to hear from you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I understand too that we're looking at some additional things coming into the mobile platform to kind of help out some of the enterprises that have some different requirements for deploying prior to have some different requirements in the product prior to deploying on mobile.
Right. So other than the rebrand, where we focus on improving the experience, kind of updating the dashboard, we're improving the dashboard experience where we're bringing together the contact and the search bar, and then all your meetings and conversation history. All of that is kind of accessible from your dashboard now, and it's a very simplified dashboard. I think folks are going to love it.
Very cool.
So I hope you get to use it.
The conversation history thing is super popular. Like that is like there have been a bunch of questions from folks on Yammer who are like, you know, I love mobile. I love the fact you guys have the media stack in mobile. This stuff's great. Why the heck, if I'm going to be using mobile and the rich client, why don't I see the conversation experience in the same place at the same time? Yeah. And that's in there now, right? With iOS, yeah.
We understand it's very critical that, I mean, I want access to all my conversations.
Yeah,
especially
right.
when I'm mobile. I want to see what my conversation was on my other devices too. So with the current client, we bring it all together, and then we also roll out the server-side changes which we needed to support it. So.
Very cool. Yeah, no, absolutely. I can't tell you how many times I close my laptop, I put it in my bag. I think I'm kind of done for the day, and I start walking to the bus, and then I ding, and I'm like, oh, okay, what did I forget to do now?
And talking about some of the special requirements around deploying to mobile clients, we've heard a lot of security requirements, especially for mobile, right? Authentication. So we have supported passive authentication so far, and with this release, we are starting to support Active Directory-based authentication for our SfB iOS client.
Very cool.
So as you know, the rest of our Office clients already support ADAL-based authentication, which is Active Directory-based authentication. So this enables consistent authentication across Office clients as well as SfB client now, which is great. So, and what it also enables is multi-factor authentication based off ADAL-based authentication. So that means that you're not just relying on username and password. You're also using a second factor of authentication once you've provided correct credentials to log in.
That's right. So it's a smart card or a virtual smart card or one-time pad or some other type of system like that, right?
Exactly. A special PIN for just getting into Skype for Business, for example, and especially critical if folks are bringing their own devices into an organization.
Sure.
It's very critical.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's interesting, like, as we've seen mobile get more and more rolled out, you know, kind of generally around enterprises, folks are starting to realize, well, look, there's a different security profile. There's a different surface area for management that we want to think of for mobile that's necessarily different from a workstation or from a laptop. Like the losability of the workstation or the laptop is just different. The types of policy and control that I can have over the laptop, like I can put BitLocker on it, I can enforce that, I can make sure that any data that's on that device, there's no way to reach that. Now a lot of those same expectations are coming to mobile.
Exactly, yeah. And the next step is for us to be able to have even greater control. As you said, conditional access is one of the things that we'll be looking to enable in the near future with Intune integration. So in the next few months, we'll be enabling Intune integration with our SfB iOS client, as well as other mobile clients as well. What that enables is conditional access and some of these even greater controls like disabling copy paste, for example, within the app if you want to.
So Intune is Microsoft's mobile application management platform or mobile device management platform. I always get I know the terms are different, but I'm the phone guy, so I don't. I'm the old phone guy, not the new phone guy.
That's a good question. Yeah. So Intune is our cloud-based component for managing not just devices, but also applications as you manage.
Okay.
So it's our Microsoft's device and application management, which is cloud-based, which is great because we're moving towards enabling more and more folks to get on the cloud.
Awesome, awesome, very cool. And so what's on the horizon then? What are we looking at?
So once we've shipped the rebranded client, we're also looking at some of these security investments that I was talking about. We're looking at Intune integration and also PSTN fallback is one of the things that we're looking at, that we've been hearing a lot about. Hey, I want to call and then my network switches or it's poor signal, I cannot take the call anymore. So we're looking at automatic PSTN fallback.
Nice, nice. Yeah. Very cool, very cool.
And other than that, we're also focused on our Android client as well. So we'll be releasing our Skype for Business Android client pretty soon. So look forward to that, participate in the preview as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the kind of key thing here is that as we're looking to kind of increase the rate at which we're releasing software, having that preview program is just key. Like, I think it's key for us to be able to get feedback from you all. And I think it's key too for, as IT pros, understanding what's coming down the line, kind of getting ready for some of these changes. We clearly learned, a lot of this when we had the rebrand from Link to Skype for Business. And we want to bring those lessons in and kind of giving everyone a heads up on what's coming, as much as we have the opportunity to do so, using all the different tools we have available.
Yeah. So in terms of readiness, and I would like to take a moment here to talk about how to get ready for our Skype for Business. So if you're already using Link 2013 and you want to prepare your users to get to Skype for Business in a very seamless way, we've been focusing on preparing end user guides, which we're trying to distribute to end users and via that IT admins and IT pro community, some of you folks on listening right now. So I think we should be able to circulate that once we're done with the Skype broadcast to all the attendees, and so that they can go back and prepare their users.
Yeah, awesome. No, I mean, we've got the Yammer community to be able to use that and stuff, and actually we've got some of the results back from the initial poll. It seems like of the audience, 50% of you are saying that most of your employees are outfitted with mobile. That's fantastic. I mean, that was one of the things that when we came out with mobile clients, it required the server side update in addition to actually having the client on the device. And so I know that for a lot of customers that were operating on premises, that was a fairly decent barrier to entry. It was something that the folks had to work at in order to get going. But of course, with Office 365, like it's just there and it just works, and you download the client and you're off to go. So maybe that's, we're seeing some good adoption from that.
Yeah, that's great. The numbers look great.
Yeah, absolutely. And then another 25% of you saying you don't have any deployed, and then another 25% saying some of your users are deploying it and other users aren't. Very good.
Yeah, I think it'll be good to understand what are some of the blockers. What can we do to help you enable more mobile deployments within the organization?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we just see this as such a powerful set of capabilities. I literally, before I was before recording here, or broadcasting rather, I was over talking to some press, and that was one of the things. Like, yeah, I had a Surface, and I was showing all the different stuff on the Rich client. But of course, I'm going to bring open my mobile device and just go, hey, look how easy it is to make a video call. And all this is in the same kind of framework for management, policy, and control that IT expects. It's going to work across my workstation. It's going to work across my mobile device as well.
Right.
Very cool. Very cool.
So, Jamie, let's talk about the other blog announcement.
Oh, yes. We had a little blog announcement yesterday. Big news. So we're going worldwide with Cloudpbx. We've been talking about this for a while, that the Cloudpbx is going to be a worldwide offer. It's going to be something that everyone can take advantage of. And but just in preview, what we've had is the Cloudpbx capability working with our PSTN calling service. So up until this week, it was that piece was available in preview, and then the PSTN conferencing was available in preview, both only for the US. And so it was fantastic for everybody who was out on preview, trying it out, putting a bunch of calls through it. I think, we've had lots and lots of tenants, lots of users. There's some stats in the blog.
4,000 companies.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I know, and a bunch of usage against it too for something that's just, that may not be your kind of everyday phone or your everyday kind of calling platform. It's awesome. Really, really happy with that. So what the announcement has been is taking that and expanding that now worldwide. And so there's a couple different elements to it. One is that PSTN conferencing now is going to be available in 14 additional countries. No, I don't remember them off the top of my head. I actually thought about practicing this last night. Like, I wonder if I could just rattle off, and I go, no, because the one that I would forget, I would
Canada,
just...
not European countries.
Yeah, right. There's Canada, there's countries in Europe, I don't know. Yeah, because I know I'd forget one, and it would just be terrible. But so there's 14 additional regions that we're enabling for preview. And it was just purely a function of setting up all the kind of backend network connectivity and everything else in order to enable this. And so if you're in one of those regions in the blog, now you can bring your existing tenant, sign up on the preview, and get that turned on, and then have PSTN conference capabilities in that region. The other thing that we're doing is for existing tenants, for existing folks in the preview, you'll be able to have dial-in numbers in those regions as well, right? So in addition to folks who are in Canada, for example, or Germany, I think is definitely one on the list. If you can get set up with the preview there. But in addition, folks that are in the US can now create a German dial-in number for your conferences. It's not working right at the moment. So there's some additional enhancements we need to make into preview in order to turn that on. I was actually just chatting with one of the engineers earlier today, is that they think that's going to be figured out by probably the end of next week. And so it'll be great. So folks will be able to, if you're already in preview from a US tenant, you'll be able to go and create dial-in numbers in all those different regions.
And that enables a lot of multinational scenarios, right? So.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Or even just cases where I've got a little sales office or something, in that region. So that's the first piece, is that we're going international with the PSTN conferencing piece. The other international side of things is to use Cloudpbx and hook it up with your existing phone service, your existing contract, your existing circuit, your existing carrier. We call this on-premises PSTN connectivity. And this is really, really exciting for us. Essentially, what it is using software to connect between what you have on-prem, your PBX or your gateway or SBC, and having that intermediate up with the cloud, up with Office 365. Oh, that's right, we have this. We have a picture. So we'll get feedback from you clearly on whether or not this path works, or whether we should, actually switch over using the thing. And I think we just realized now it's actually
done a pulse on that. Right?
Yeah, I know, right? We could run a pulse on that. It's just funny too. I'm actually noticing it's kind of starting to get dark already in Seattle at 5 something in the evening too. So as we do these evening podcasts, I think we'll have to be cognizant of having lighting in the room. But anyway, on-premises PSTN connectivity. So the idea is that I'm using Skype for Business server software. It's this piece in the center. We've been connecting up with PBX systems since Office Communications Server 2007. Like, literally one of the first demos I did with this team was plugging this stuff together with a Nortel and a Cisco and an Avaya. And so that direct SIP connection to the PBX, that is managed by that server software. And then we use a connection up to Office 365 to be able to provide that interoperability up into the cloud. So what that means is you can set up Cloudpbx and have your online users in Office 365, when they go in, they make phone calls. Those phone calls go through your existing circuit, your existing trunk.
Right. And you retain the same phone numbers as well, right?
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. So users keep the phone numbers, company keeps the circuits, and it enables us to have this service be available all over the world. So because we know we're not going to be able to have a first party PSTN calling service in every country in the world. There's going to be some regions we're not going to be able to get into. So this is going to be the path that customers are going to be able to take. So today, what's available in preview is primarily for existing customers. So if you already have Skype for Business or you already have Link Server running on premises, you can use this setup, you can use this topology to be able to connect up with Cloudpbx. When we go and release, in addition, we'll also be able to have a packaged set of virtual machines that implement just this scenario, so you don't have to use the full server. So,
and what are the other new services along with geo expansion that we're expecting with this announcement?
So, so we also now have voicemail up and running. Voicemail has been in the service, but it's been kind of slowly rolling out over the last 2 weeks. So now voicemail is kind of up and running broadly within the service. Number portability we just turned on, which is huge. So number portability, the idea here is that yes, you can get new numbers in Cloudpbx with the PSTN calling service. You can get new numbers, but number portability means you take your existing numbers and you move them from your old carrier into Microsoft as your phone company.
And if you're traveling salesman, you keep the same number.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. This is a cool thing, right? And it just, I think it lowers that barrier to entry for folks to be able to move into Skype for Business. And on the server side, we've been doing this for a long time, where for a while, customer would have an old kind of PBX phone, or an end user would have an old PBX phone. Then when we give them Link, or at the time, or now Skype for Business. And then in the back end, IT would go and move the circuit over, move the phone over to where instead of it ringing through the PBX, now it rings through Skype for Business. Essentially, it's the same thing, but now without any of the software running on premises. You could just have that all operating on the cloud. So we got voicemail, we got number portability, phones. So we're not quite ready to support this in preview yet. We're just kind of getting the last little, T's crossed and I's dotted to make sure that everything stands up in preview, getting some documentation out there. But the intent is to be able to take your Link Phone Edition devices, to be able to take your Polycom VVX devices. We've got some information in there about what will be supported, and those will just register directly to the cloud.
Right. And I understand some of these devices already have software support for some of the services.
Exactly. That's actually one of the biggest things. That you got to make sure that that's the right version of software that's running on the device. So from the VVX, from the Polycom VVX perspective, they have to be 5.4 something. They have to be the right firmware version. Same thing with Link Phone Edition devices. We have those. We have that documented. And then the other kind of piece that's going to be coming up soon is the call quality dashboard, which for everybody that's been running on the server, this is just a huge set of capabilities to be able to understand call quality across your network.
Especially for the audience here, I guess.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. This is something new. It's new coming into Office 365. It's going to work. It's going to work great for Cloudpbx and then for the other scenarios as well. So no, we've had a bunch, right? So we're doing on-premises PSTN connectivity. We're doing PSTN conferencing in a bunch of countries. Cloudpbx now worldwide, and then all these additional services. I also got a question on area codes too that I wanted to address. So somebody had a comment on our blog post. Hey, I've noticed that you don't have the area code for the largest company in the world, Walmart. How come you don't have this area code in Arkansas? So I thought, oh wow, what's going on with preview? And so I actually reached out to the engineers, and they said, oh yeah, as a matter of fact, we're now in the process of loading in additional area codes into preview, and they're loading in at a rate of, I don't know, a half dozen area codes or whatever a day, to where by the time we launch, we'll have somewhere in the neighborhood of 85 to 90% of all the area codes in the US we'll have coverage on, which is just outstanding. The ones that we don't are the ones that are overburdened, like Manhattan and stuff, has multiple overlaid area codes. So we probably won't be able to get you a 415 number or a, you know, what's the other one? 202 number, right? Like
it's quite a premium.
yeah, no, that's exactly right. Like, nobody can get those, right? But what's cool is that when I ask the engineers, they go, "Oh yeah, we're loading in new area codes all the time. Hold on, how many do you want in this area code?" And so by the time I left here and I made it to the bus stop, they're like, "Oh yeah, we just loaded them into preview. Give me a second." And I'm like, "Really?" And then sure enough, 5 minutes later, they had a screenshot of the admin console that had the area codes already loaded. So if you wanted to have area codes for the Walmart area of Arkansas, it doesn't actually get coded as Bentonville. It got coded as a different name. Go for it. They're there now. And you're going to see more and more area codes, more and more availability kind of increase over time. So, yeah, very cool. I see we have some more results here from a couple of our questions. We were asking folks, are you running on server or are you running online? And it looks like about 2/3 of the folks that we're talking to are running online.
That's interesting stat out there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it kind of makes sense. I think that was one of the precepts in thinking about this Yammer group and kind of how we're driving the audience here. Was that there's generally a lot of folks from Office 365, and so it's it makes sense. That's it's validated. Good to hear. Cool. And then let's see. We also have folks who are trying out Cloudpbx. It looks like about 55% or so are saying yes, and another 37. We're getting some different numbers here now. Oh, okay. It seems like most of the folks that are out there are considering trying out Cloudpbx. Please. Yeah, I know it's my feature. It's something that I care about deeply, but we really do want to have all the feedback. We really do want to be able to exercise this service, and as much as we can exercise it prior to launch, the better. And it's just that is a very key thing for us.
And with that, I actually wanted to take a moment and answer some of the questions that I think some of the Yammer community asked during the last session that we had about mobility.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Features. I think one of you had a question around, hey, what is a strategy around having support for media and attachments in Skype?
Yes, yes.
We totally hear you. That's on our roadmap. I do not have a date which we can share right now, but that's certainly something which we're looking into.
Yeah.
And also some of the key features I want to call out that we are supporting with this Skype for Business iOS launch that we are planning pretty soon. We have full screen video with this release.
Very
That's great.
cool.
And then
that's huge.
Along with that, we have simultaneous viewing of the content which is being shared in the meeting, as well as speakers' video. So you never lose a moment in the meeting.
So you get a kind of full screen view of the content and then an overlay of the video on top of that. Yeah. Nice.
So you have full screen video of the speaker when you're not seeing any content. So that means that you have a very immersive meeting experience.
Yeah. It's funny how often I try to take the bus, to and from work, and it's tremendously handy. Like I will actively join meetings, and when they're sharing video, it works. It's great that I can see the content. I can zoom in on it. I mean, yes, it helps to have a giant phone, but it is tremendously useful to have that capability.
Totally. Yeah. I commute and I spend an hour on the bus. So
yeah, totally. Yeah, same idea. Yeah, absolutely.
And look forward to PPD viewing. You can upload PPD slides and view on your iOS client. That should be coming in a release which follows the Rebranding release pretty soon. So yeah. Very
cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, I know we have. I think we've got a little bit of time left in here. I'm just checking it out. So there is clearly a lot more we have to talk about. We're going to go into a lot more detail on Cloudpbx and hybrid in some future episodes. I know we're going to get in some of our colleagues to talk about meetings and platform in some future episodes. And so, we really appreciate you taking the time, coming out, giving us feedback, both here in Yammer, elsewhere on social. This has been really great.
Yeah, thanks for your participation, and look forward for your feedback.
All righty, and so I think we're gonna call it for today. appreciate you, Asia, coming out for our second great Skype for Business videocast. And we will definitely be seeing you soon. Thanks again, everybody.
Thank you.